First off, we're still on track for June 24th being the premiere of 1.0 for 7 Days to Die, with Streamer Weekend starting on June 21st.
From what I'm hearing, we're looking at a Streamer Weekend beginning next weekend. Week from today, the 21st. Unless something really bad explodes before, we're looking pretty good.
And we just finished up the third and final developer live stream. And while I didn't pick up on any groundbreaking news or details or anything, there were a couple of things that I noticed that I wanted to point out to you very briefly. So the first thing I want to touch on is progression, because in the last developer live stream, Joel said that they're trying to stretch out the game and make progression slower, and part of doing that is nerfing the traders. And one little detail I picked up on here right in the very beginning of the stream is that it shows you how far along you are in the tier of quests that you're on. And for the tier 1 quests at least, and I suspect for all tiers of quests, it's going back to 10 quests to complete the tier, get the bundle reward, get the opening trade routes, and move on to the next tier. But now in 1.0, we're reverting to the way it used to be, with 10 missions per tier. That's a total of 60 quests to finish off a trader. And while we're in the menu stuff, let's just look at the Enforcer set bonus. So when you wear a full set of armor, you get a special bonus. And for the Enforcer set here, that's going to be 20% more damage with 44 Magnum weapons, and you can reload them 20% faster. Of note, all of the armor is quality 4, and from what I've gathered, this bonus, this 20% bonus that we're getting here, is reflective of the quality of the armor. So if everything was quality 1, it would be lower, and if it was quality 6, it would be higher. One last thing on the menus here, I did pick up on a new agility perk, which is medium armor. It used to be light armor in here. I'm not sure if light armor has been moved, or if light and medium are combined, or if there's just no light armor perk. I'm not sure yet. We get a couple of fresh glimpses at the vehicles, all decked out with all the mods. They're looking pretty sweet. We did see some crashes and some running over of zombies with the plow on the front, and it's doing about 1% damage per strike. And we saw the motorcycle again with no mods. I guess, from what I'm gathering, this has been pretty controversial. A lot of people are not liking how long this is, but I'm telling you, man, I love this thing. But I want to get the consensus, so let me know what you guys think of the new vehicles. Overall, I'm impressed across the board. I like everything. Let me know how you feel, though. So this was basically just a multiplayer gameplay stream. They didn't really talk about the game. They just kind of played naturally. They went into some POIs, they went into some remnants, they looted, they fought some zombies, they went to the Wasteland. So I'm just going to point out some things that I noticed along the way. First of all, they spent a lot of time going through the downtown areas and focusing on these remnant POIs. So even though this here is a skyscraper, in fact, it's called the Zillion Tower, it is not a questable location. There's not a lot of zombies in here. There's not a lot of stuff in here. There's no main loot. And from what I saw, there are a lot of these. And so what they were talking about during the stream is that they're trying to fill in a lot of the city and downtown areas with these, not empty POIs, but these kind of skeleton POIs, these bare bones areas, just because they're less taxing on your computer. So you should get better performance overall, because currently if you go to a downtown area, there could be a Crack-a-Book, a Hagashi, a Deshong Tower, and they're all like next to each other, next door. And so by kind of sprinkling in some of these empty POIs, we should see better performance overall in those areas, combined with some other changes that they've done, like some changes to windows and some changes to lighting. So we got to see a few of those. Here's another one here, a demolition site. So it's basically just a broken down building with a lot of construction stuff, a couple of construction zombies, but overall, it looks like it would be a high tier POI, but it's kind of a nothing burger. And while we're here at this demolition site, so this is in the Wasteland, and I did notice that there seems to be a yellowish green tint to everything. There's been a little bit of work on like ambient lighting, and I think the Wasteland atmosphere has changed a little bit. It seems a little bit less foggy, but there's still kind of like this green smog now. And speaking of lighting, let's talk about the zombies just for a second here. So lighting has seen some tweaking. So I think if you ask me, I would say that the dark areas, like interior of POIs and stuff, have gotten a little bit brighter, so you can get away without torches and helmet flashlights a little bit more. Everything does look a little bit more dull and drab, and overall, I can't put my finger on it, but things just look a little bit better, a little bit more modern in terms of lighting. Here's a look at a radiated zombie, and I think I think the rads have had a little bit of work. They seem a little bit more glowy to me, if that's a word. And the regular zombies, I've noticed, they look a little bit darker, a little bit greasy, and more, I guess, seasoned, and they certainly look like it. Yeah, the spider here, he used to be very clean looking, very kind of light colored, and now he's looking quite dark. Here's the hazmat guy, also very dark, in addition to just having the dark suit, one of the alternate suits that he can wear. And here is the mutated zombie, also looking darker, just kind of dirtier, greasier, and then here's his new like particle effect. So the cops should have this, probably the radiated vultures, haven't seen those yet though, and also just the mutated zombies, they're gonna have this new kind of splash effect. Quick clip of a naked male body that I captured, just for the fun of it. And speaking of that, here I'll just play a couple of clips of it was like a multiplayer game, so we got to see Mad Mole wearing the commando set of armor, and Rick was wearing the Raider set of armor, and the animations looked great. There was one little bug that I found like much later in the stream where there was just a piece of armor that was kind of floating up above the character. That's a little thing. I think that'll probably be fixed eventually. So in terms of POIs, they took us to several tier 4 POIs. There was the downtown marketplace that we just saw before. There was the Minotaur Theater. I'm not going to take you through the whole thing because there's some spoilers there. There are some kind of scripted events that take place inside some of these POIs. There was the Haven Hotel, which is another tier 5 POI, and the Utility Refinery. Man, check this place out. I think this would make a crazy horde base. What do you think? All right, so we talked a little bit about performance before, and this is an area that needs some improvement here because Lathan was using grenades throughout this little demonstration here, and due to the fact that there are new blood effects, there are new dismemberment effects, and increased dismemberment effects. All of the zombies now have full dismemberment. That means hands, arms, half the arm, half the leg, the whole leg, the foot, the head, everything. So there, any piece of the zombie can go flying off at any time. And there are new particle effects for the grenades, and all together it's creating some massive lag spikes with explosions. So here's the first one right here. I'll play it at regular speed and then I'll play it slowed down a couple times, where you can just see feet, arms, hands, legs, blood, sparks, just flying everywhere. And I think this has some implications on Horde Night because a lot of us like to use little grenade pits, and you fill up a pit full of zombies, you drop a couple grenades, you get really good value there, and that's gonna be real rough to deal with these massive lag spikes. Now, it's not universal. Not every grenade, not every explosion caused a big lag spike. Here's another scene right here with Lathan tossing some grenades down on a smaller group of zombies. Seemed to be a lot less dismemberment, a little bit less tight quarters, and things seemed to go pretty well. This might be something that is improved upon by launch, but I'm a little bit scared for big Horde nights. So this here was 6 hand grenades thrown at once, and again, just basically froze the game. But 2 grenades, not so bad. I found a couple of new props I just wanted to point out briefly. We got new crates, like Shotgun Messiah crates, Pop and Pills crates. There's a couple of new chemistry sets, just a slightly new appearance to those. A couple of signs that we've seen before. There's staff only. I saw some no smoking signs, and a new beverage cooler here. And lastly, let's just touch on the new animals, or lack thereof. They've teased at multiple points throughout the development process that there will be all new animal models. They've shown us several of those, and we've seen some of them in live action, but with the notable exception here today of the direwolf, who still has the old model, and the bear. The regular old bear is here, but this is not the bear that we're used to. This is actually a very small bear. I'm not sure why it's so small, if they've just shrunk it down, or if we now have baby bears, or if this is some placeholder until we get the new bear with the new texture and stuff. I don't know what their plan is, but they've got 1 week to implement a couple of more new animals. I'm not liking our chances there. They did say that they are on track still for most likely a stable release of 1.0 in July, around July 25th, they said, along with console release. So in the experimental time frame for experimental 1.0, which is slated to last approximately 5 weeks, it's not uncommon for them to add in a bunch of things that weren't quite ready to ship when experimental was ready. I'm hoping that some of this content that was kind of promised will make its way in. We might even get some additional POIs throughout the experimental window, as has happened in the past. And that's about it for this one, guys. Nothing exciting happened in this one, but the best news that came out of this is that we're still on track for experimental release in approximately 1 week. Stay tuned. I'll have full feature videos, guides, gameplay, tutorials, the whole shebang for you, ready to go on day 1. So subscribe for that, and I will see you hopefully in the next video. Hey everyone, I just wanted to say thank you for watching, for leaving a like, but most of all, thank you to the long list of amazing supporters that you see right here. I hope this episode has earned your subscription, and I can't wait to show you the next one. Best wishes to all, and goodbye.